And so welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and I'm totally honored that you take the time to spend a little bit of time with me tonight and listen to my experiences and how the angels have helped me, and then maybe how they might be able to help you. And we'll just go ahead and start. 5 C's to receive angelic guidance and healing. When I was asking the angels, what should I do for a webinar or teleseminar, they said, well, keep it simple to start. And so they gave me 5 C's, and I'm going to go over that in a little bit. So tonight, we're going to cover, first this is a welcome, and we're going to set intentions for the evening. And we're going to go over who the angels are and why to ask for their help and how they can help us. And we'll cover the 5 C's and receive an angelic attunement, which will help to connect with the angels and receive their love, basically. And then if you like all that, then there's an opportunity to learn a little bit more, and then we'll go back to questions, but we'll maybe do some questions in the middle also. I want to just, if you can, just give yourself this little bit of time in order to just be and try and tune in and soak up some angelic energy. And so you can set your intention for the evening, whatever that might be, to learn a little bit more, to have an experience maybe, to have an idea of maybe who the angels are and how they can help. Or, if you want to have help with something, maybe asking them to come through and give you some guidance on some things, whatever that intention is for you tonight. How did I start working with angels? I just wanted to tell you a little bit about how it all came about. It's taken me years to really think about my life and how it all came about. And so when I was little, I didn't feel like I belonged here. And in fact, till I got out of high school and many years later, I just didn't feel like Earth was my home. I didn't feel like people really cared, or I didn't feel like they really were speaking from a place of truth. It just didn't feel right for me. So I remember even like after I was out of high school, and I would ask the aliens to come take me away because I didn't know where else I should turn. But many years later, I had a great job and a good relationship, and when the relationship ended, I realize now that that's how I had defined myself, by my relationship and my work as to who I was. When that ended, I was lost completely. And so I went to Moab and met a friend, and I ended up picking up this CD set by Wayne Dyer, The Power of Intention. And I listened to it on the way home because I was sick. I remember I couldn't even vacuum. My neck was so bad. And I just vowed I was going to change my life. And not too long after that, I ended up picking up these Archangel cards by Doreen Virtue. And when I started working with the cards, after a while, I started hearing them talk to me and give me guidance. And so I went to training with her pretty much to figure out that I wasn't crazy. And then I figured out that I could help people by giving angel messages and then healing work. And what I've found that I really love is the healing work. because when we do the healing work, most of the time the messages go away. And so for me, it's changed my life in that I want to be here now. I want to make a difference in the world. I want to help people. I'm not sick anymore, and I'm not defined by what I do or who I'm with. And that's just made this huge difference in my life. This slide is one of the gals that was in my class and a friend, and when she wrote this, it really made me so grateful that she would write this, because I do live it. I live with the angels, and that means that I ask them to help every day in some way, whether it be me or other people. And I feel and know the difference. And so Diane says that, and she, we talk, and I say, well, have you asked? And she says, oh, I have to ask. We forget that we have to ask, which is part of what we're going to go over here today. So who are the angels anyway, and why should we ask for their help? So when I talk about angels, I work with, not Aunt Sarah or your favorite dog, but with angels that are on a different frequency, a higher frequency, messengers of God. And to me, the angels they're God's gift to us. They're one of the gifts that we can use to ask for help. And they're beings of pure divine light. So they don't have the experiences maybe that people have that have lived here on earth, or they have no agenda for you. Their only agenda for you is to be happy. And that's what I love about the angels. There are many other kinds of spirits out there, and guides and different things, ascended masters, and I can connect with those, and I choose to work with the angels, because I get this pure divine love. And they have this huge overseeing picture that they know. They know what our purpose is. They know how what we do affects other people. They know the bigger picture of what's going on. And that's the other thing that you get from the angels, is that, oh, you're thinking of it this way. Well, how about looking at it from a different view? And it's always one of love. That's why I work with the angels. And the other thing is, they don't usually help us unless we ask. I mean, they might intervene if it's something that they need to. There's tons of stories. If you go on the internet and you search for, angel intervention and angel healing, and there's just tons of stories. But usually we have to ask for their help, especially for day-to-day things. And it's very important that when we're working with the spirit world, which is where the angels are, that we have discernment. So if you don't feel that it's pure love, if you don't feel like you're being comforted, then it's probably not of the highest vibration, which is always my goal. I don't want to even fool usually with the lower vibration. Sometimes I will. I can, loved ones and different things, but usually I just want to stick with the angels. So how do the angels help us? I talked a little bit about direct intervention and how, there's tons of stories about Archangel Michael stepping in to a car wreck or somebody, a being that they don't know that steps in. But that's not very often. Most of the time, they would send you a sign. And a sign might mean, and it's a personal sign. So if you see feathers and you think of angels, that's a sign. If you see a word and you've been asking for guidance and you think, oh, the angel sent me that word, that's a sign. So it's not necessarily what you see, it's the thought or the feeling that you get when you see it. If you see clouds, for a long time when I started working with the angels, every time I'd look up and I'd look and I'd see clouds and I'm like, oh, the angels, it's like this reminder. It wasn't necessarily the clouds, it was the thought or the feeling that I got when I saw the clouds. They can help you meet people. They can guide you to go to a store that you might see somebody you haven't seen in a long time, or they can guide you to say hello to somebody, or smile at somebody, or call somebody like your friend. You haven't talked to them in a long time, and you call them and they're like, I was just thinking about you. And I'm like, well, we're on the same page, on the same line. So the angels can help that way. They can help you have ideas if you need help, maybe finding a doctor or somebody to help you to feel better. They can give you ideas, or maybe you hear somebody's name 2 or 3 times and you say, okay, I'm listening. It's just that along with it that the angels have sent that to you. In healing, when working with healing, the angels give and pull energy. So they can dissolve things also, but most of the time it's giving and pulling energy. So sometimes we have to allow for that to happen in order to let go of something that we've been holding on to for a long time. So what are the 5 C's to receive angelic? Oh, angelic. I have this one nice. Inspiration and healing. So the first one is clarity. We need to be clear of interfering energy. So we have all of this energy around us, other people's energies, the energies from our cell phones and computers and cars, and we are energetic beings, and we pick up all this energy. And not only that, our emotions, our thoughts, what we eat, all of that contributes to energy that we hold within our bodies and our energetic field. What really helps us is to be clear of interfering energy. And we're going to work a little bit with that tonight so that you can feel a little bit more what that might be like for you. And what does push and pull mean? Push and pull means that they pull energy from us. So in other words, if you've been holding on to an emotion of anger that's lodged in your body somewhere, the angels can pull that energy out of you. So they can pull the energy. And likewise, they might help you by then filling it with clearer, cleaner energy. Okay, and let's go back to the 5 C's. So the first one, being clear. And the second one is connection. So the angels live on a different vibrational frequency than we are. That's why most of us can't see them or hear them, or sometimes can't feel them. So we need to tune in to their vibrational frequency. And it would be like tuning into the correct radio station. You're going along it, all of a sudden you're there. So it's tuning in to their vibrational frequency. And the third one is the 4 C's of communication. So angels communicate with us in different ways. They give us thoughts, and they give us feelings, maybe feelings in our body. They give us visions. Some people are visual, and so they give visions or messages like what I was talking about earlier. They might give you a sign. And so that's one way that they communicate. And another way is they just give you a knowing. So sometimes you just know things. You know you should drive down this street. You know, for some reason, the other day I had to go over a pass and I was late. And they just were telling me, don't rush, don't rush. And I went over the pass and there had been a car accident. And I knew that they had held me back and just told me not to rush because maybe I would have been there. It's just a knowing that I had. So those are different ways. Knowing, hearing, seeing, and feeling. And that's clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, and clairvoyance. But those are real big words. So I just stick with the knowing, hearing, seeing, and feeling. I have another question here. So were they ever incarnate? So were they ever human? The angels that I work with most have not been human. The angels are in all of the major religious traditions and texts. So angels in the Bible help them in the Bible. I don't come at it from a religious standpoint. I come at it from an experiential standpoint. I think that there were a couple angels that they say have been incarnate that I work with. One is Archangel Metatron, and I've asked Metatron if he was incarnated, and he said yes. But I don't remember who he was. It's just not something I focus on. There was another one I think that people tend to think they are. And, besides the archangels, there are millions of other angels that can help you. So you can call on angels of love, let's say. Angels of love. So say you're looking for a partner. You can call the angels of love to help you. And they will come. In fact, I just felt them, right? Just saying that, they come. And you have this heartfelt question. So when you ask questions, you don't have to say it out loud unless you believe you do. When I first started working with the angels, I said, okay, do I have to say it out loud? Do I have to say it 10 times? And they just told me, no, we know what's in your heart. We know what's in your mind. And we know what you really want. And so when you ask us for something, it's what you really want and you desire. And it's not the words that you say. It's what you really want, which they know. So you can ask like the angels of love to help you. And I've done that. And it's not as personal to me. So I stick with the archangels primarily because they're more personal. It's a lot different if you think right now in your head and you say, Archangel Michael, come to me and surround me with a beautiful pillar of light. It's like this palpable thing that shifts the energy. And it's personal. Michael's personal. It's one specific, very strong angel. And that's why I pretty much stick with the archangels. So the fourth C is to cultivate and create a relationship with the angels. It's like you have a friend and you never call them, you never talk to them, and they're there and you're there, but you don't cultivate your relationship. You're not in relationship really. And so when we work with the angels and ask them for help, it's about cultivating that relationship and that trust and that knowing and how they communicate with us, and that they do and that they help us when we ask them. It's cultivating that relationship. So it takes a cultivation. And then the fifth C is to celebrate and show your gratitude for their help when they help you and you know it. And you get that sign and you just feel like there's a presence with you and you're grateful. I have a story. I created these essential oil blends, and everybody was like, well, when are you going to make Archangel Uriel? I'd made Michael and Raphael and Shamuel and all these others. And I said, well, I don't know. I don't work with Archangel Uriel very much. And so finally one day I sat down and said, okay, Uriel, let's talk about this. Should I make an oil? What do you think? I don't ever work with you. And Uriel came to me and told me, because I hear the angels and I feel their presence and I have this knowing. It's like all together, but I don't see things. Anyway, he told me, he said, I've been with you the whole time. I've been helping you do this the whole time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And I was so grateful for Uriel helping me, that it allowed him to just pour all of this love down on me. And I just sat there and received it. And so when we show our gratitude to them, it opens us up so that they can give us more. It's not that they can't give it to us, when it's about us receiving it. So we have to be open to receive. I guess that's another one that's not a C. It's an R. So we have to be very, open to receive from them. And that comes really from trust and cultivating that relationship and knowing that they have your best interest at heart and that they want you to have joy and grace and love in your life, which for me, the angels bring the gifts of God. And the gifts of God, to me, are joy and grace and love and peace. And so that's what I receive from the angels and how I've done it. I've cleared myself of the energy. I tuned into the frequency, communicating with them in whatever way it is they communicate with me. As much as I would love to see them, I don't. So I accept that. And I cultivated a relationship that is, I receive the love that nobody or nothing here on earth can give me. A pet comes close, but they still rely on you and require you to do things. So this is a love that you get without doing anything or being anything but you. And I suppose that that's what's really kept me wanting to be in touch with them. And then cultivating that and celebrating it. Does anybody have any questions? Are there what's called fallen angels? Well, I believe so. I believe that there's angels that have said, I don't want to follow God's will, and so I'm going to do whatever I want to do. The angels have told me that they keep growing and expanding even like we do. We're growing and expanding and learning, and that never stops. They said they do the same thing. They grow and expand and learn, and so they kind of do the same thing that we do. They're just a little bit on a different level than we are, let's say. Okay, so I just invite you to really get comfortable and sit and close your eyes and let the angels do the work. And Archangel Michael here, you can see this picture of Archangel Michael. I've worked with Michael so much, and Michael can be, all the archangels can be with every person at the same time. So they don't have the constraints that we do in human form. And so you don't have to worry about pulling them away from anybody or not receiving it. They can be with you at any time. And, when I first started working with the angels, and I think Jesus in particular, the angels, I didn't feel that way, but I really didn't feel like I deserved their attention. I just didn't, I don't know, I just didn't feel deserving. And now I'm just so grateful. But I think that's like this thing that some people go through of just not feeling like you deserve all this love. And it's just not true at all. It's not true. And if you're on this call, they definitely would like to be more a part of your life as much as you want, as much or as little as you want. So asking the angels for help is the most important thing. I ask the angels for help every day. And if I don't ask for them for help, I'm not living like this magical life. I'm trudging along and not feeling guided and supported. So asking them for help helps me to live this magical, inspired life. And believe me, I go through times where I don't feel that inspired, and then I have to go back and go, oh, I have to ask. Like, I set the date for this class like a month ago, and I didn't have anything set up for it. And they wanted me to set the date. So I set the date, and all of a sudden, everything started coming to me. Like, where to get the scheduling program, doing the slides, putting everything together, and it was like not work at all. It was joy, even though I was working during the day, coming home and working until like 12 or 1 o'clock at night. Now, granted, come the weekend I kind of crashed, but during that time I was inspired, and that's receiving true angelic help. And I've learned through doing my classes. For me, it usually doesn't come until the last second. And so sometimes when I've been making up my classes, I say, okay, they want me to do a class. Okay, I'll do the class, but what am I going to teach? And week to week, I would be getting it, and finishing it an hour before class. And that was okay because I allowed for that, because I know that that's how it comes for me. So the attunement. So this attunement that we're going to do, we're going to work with Archangel Michael and Archangel Uriel. Archangel Michael, I mean, there's so many stories about Michael, but Michael uses any kind of tool you could ever imagine to help you. And that's on an energetic level. All this is energy. Archangel Uriel works with our thoughts and can help you with that. Archangel Metatron helps with our spiritual growth. And on the Kabbalah, Metatron is at the very top. And when I was working with Metatron and making the oil, it was like Metatron was right next to God. Right, and so I called that oil Seventh Heaven, because it was just like right, Archangel Metatron was right there. So we're going to open our chakras a little bit, and this allows them to work with our energy, and then we'll receive an angelic attunement, which is the chakra above our head, and clear the connection. Because this energy, the angelic energies, come down. So it's best if you can sit up for this and not lay down. So just close your eyes. And we want to ask Archangel Michael, we did it before, but we'll ask him again, to surround you with a pillar of light. All the way from heaven to the crystalline center of the earth. And then we want to ask Archangel Michael to surround your house that you're in, or your apartment, with another pillar of light. And we ask that these pillars of light be filled with energy, the color and energy that you need for this angelic activation. What this does is helps cut out the interfering energies around you. And Archangel Michael, we ask to clear. Let's ask him. He's got a vacuum that he uses. I told you he uses tools. He's got a vacuum. Let's ask him to vacuum out the energy of your home, and the energy around your body. Anything that is not yours or doesn't any longer serve you, we ask him to just take away. Vacuum it out. And then we ask Archangel Michael to attach a vacuum to the top of your head and vacuum out of your physical body any energies that are not yours or that no longer serve you. And here's where you might feel a pulling. If you feel it pulling, just say thank you in your head. And that helps it go. Thank you. And you can ask him to turn this vacuum up or turn it down if it's uncomfortable. Try not to name anything or put a picture to it. Just let it go. Vacuuming out your emotions, your emotional body. vacuuming out your thoughts and your mental body. You can ask Archangel Michael in your head to vacuum out your bones of energies that aren't yours. Your muscles, your blood, to clean your blood. If you have a thought of anywhere else, just ask that in your head. Saying thank you. And just feeling your energy body right now, feeling how you feel right now. And if there's a place in your body that needs attention, like tension, or someplace that has a pain, or something physical that you're dealing with right now, we can ask Archangel Raphael, who's the angel of healing, to heal that in any way that he needs to. Could be with light, light can dissolve it, he could pull it out. You could give it to him if it's a worry, or fear. Just give it over. And come back to how you feel in your body. And if there's anywhere else that needs attention, ask Archangel Raphael. He can lay his hands on you. So if at any time during the rest of this, if there's some place in your body that needs attention, just in your mind, ask Archangel Raphael to heal that for you all the way to the core is what we ask for. All the way to the core. I want to ask Archangel Uriel to energize and activate your soul star chakra into full alignment with your higher self, God, and the angels of heaven, initiating clear guidance and communication. To activate that and energize and rewire if need be. And we ask Archangel Michael to strengthen your connection to God and the heavenly beings, to repair it if necessary. To hook you up, to make sure that you're connected. And if you're having thoughts that won't go away, you can ask Archangel Michael to vacuum those out. Just setting them aside for right now. So see if you can feel your connection, at least some energy going up from the top of your head or coming in. It goes both ways. And we ask Archangel Michael to clear any interferences that you have to receiving the angelic guidance and true connection. Our ultimate connection is to be connected to God. And the angels are just a little bit closer and more personal. And just feel how you feel right now. Maybe more peaceful. Maybe your mind's more quiet. And I want to ask your guardian angel to come very near you, into your awareness. It might be seeing, hearing, feeling, or knowing. And just to wrap their wings around you or their arms and give you love, that you may feel their love for you. Your guardian angel's been with you your whole life. And even if you've never acknowledged them, they've guided you and loved you and cared for you and your soul. So thank them for that. There's nothing to feel bad about. Just thank them. And when we thank them, it allows them to give us more. We receive more. And in your mind, you can have a little conversation with them. You can ask them questions if you want. Like, what's your name? What do you want me to do? Do you have a message for me? And usually the first thing that pops in your mind is that answer. And ask them to come to you tonight when you go to bed so you can take more time and have a longer conversation and get to know them better. Ask them to guide you, to give you signs, to help you know that they talk to you, know that they're guiding you. And just thank them. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and feel your toes. And your fingers. And so, if you've enjoyed this time and the angels and think that you want them to help you more and would like to learn to communicate with them more, I have a class that's starting next week. And it's 5 weeks where we'll be doing much more clearing and practicing of receiving from the angels to help you receive their messages and open to new opportunities and receive their love, to know how loved, valued, and amazing that you are. So it's going to be a webinar like this, and I would love to have you join me. And we'll have handouts. We're going to have a Facebook page, and I invite you to stay in this space that you're in and soak it in. Soak it into every cell of your being. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so grateful and for being there and being part of this sharing. All right. Thank you.